G'day, I'm Mark Hoth and welcome to Swift Almanac, where we teach you the basics of Swift in 10 minutes or less. Today's lesson is methods. So let's have a look at methods in 10 minutes or less. Methods are quite simply functions that belong to a particular data type. Class, structures and enums can all define methods. So let's look at instance methods. Here we have a class counter and we have a property count 0, and we have three methods which are functions which increment the count, which increment by an amount, and which reset the count to 0. So in order to call these instance methods, we use the dot notation. You're probably familiar with it. We'll allocate a counter, let counter equal counter. Counter dot increment is calling our variable counter, and it's saying use the method increment with the braces. We can print the counter dot count, which is going to be 1, and then we can increment by 5, calling the second increment method, and then we can print the count, which is going to be 1, 5, which is 6, and then we can reset the count, and well, we could print it again, and it will be 0. The self property, every instance has a self property that is equivalent to itself. For instance, we could have a method function increment self.count plus equals 1. Of course, we would have to include it inside the class so that it wouldn't die. We have to remove the other equivalent method function. So self.count is referring to this class counter and the property count. Normally you don't need to use the self keyword, but you may need to use it for callbacks or if there are conflicts between instance properties and method parameter names. So here we've got a structure which is a point. We've got some variables x and y which are doubles, and we have a method function is to the right of, which we're calling x as the method parameter name, which is a double, and it's returning a boolean. And so we've got an x which is a parameter name, and we have an x which is a property of the structure. So here we want to return x.self if it's greater than x. So x.self is referring to this structure x, and x here is referring to the parameter name. So what happens when we mutate values within instance methods? Structs and enums are value types, and by default you can't modify the value of properties within instant methods. So if we create an extension and then a point from our point above, and we can create this mutating function, move by x delta x, which is a double, and y delta y, which is a double, and quite simply it changes x and y by the equivalent delta x and delta y components. So by using this mutating keyword, we're able to mutate the values within our point structure. So here we've got an example. We've got our sum point, which is at 1, 1, and sum point.move by 2, 3, print. The point is now at sum point.x, sum point.y, and you can see it's moved as expected to 3, 4. So the mutating function has actually changed the value of this data, even though it's housed in a struct. Note that if we had let as a constant for some point, then this is going to fail. Once it's a constant, it's always going to be a constant, even if we have mutating functions here or variable property types here. Type methods are methods that are only used internally within a class or structure, and type methods use the static keyword. So here, if we have a level tracker, then we've got a static property, the highest level unlocked, which is 1, and we have our current level, which is 1, and then we have a static function unlock, which doesn't have a label, level int. If level is higher than the highest level unlocked, then the highest level unlocked equals level. So this static function is creating a type method, and it's only available to be called by other functions within the structure. So here we've got the mutating function advance. So when our handy little character advances a level, we can say that the next level will be unlocked. So currently we're at level 1. If you were to call this function, then level tracker.unlock2 is going to call this static function, and it will run because it's been called by an internal method within the structure. Well, that's it for methods. If you have any question about the tutorial, then please leave a comment below or hit me up on Twitter @SwiftAlmanac. Please subscribe to the channel, it's free, and check out our website at www.swiftalmanac.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.